All right. It's that time. It's time for Beyond Sight and Sound. Let's do this.
Are you looking for a high-quality beach and sand scoop? Are you trying to take your hunting to the extreme? How about an American-based company that stands behind their product and everything they sell? Then check out our friends over at XTREME Scoops. John has been making scoops for some time now and makes a quality beach and sand scoop to take your hunting to the next level. XTREME Scoops recently released their new sand shredder that works great in the water and on the beach. And if you're a new Equinox user, you may want to check out his Surfmaster X3 that can trap those small targets you new Equinox users are finding out there. XTREME Scoop's company approach is let's do it right. So do it right, buy it once, and go to the extreme. XTREMEScoops.com. That's XTREME Scoops.com.
Hey, boys and girls, we are going to talk about S&W shooters and prospectors. What is S&W shooters and prospectors?
We at S&W Shooters and Prospectors help people find treasure.
Did you say treasure?
Yes, treasure. Just listen to this amazing review from our happy customer, Jackie Sparrow.
Chuck was shipshape and a pleasure to deal with. I was able to buy everything that I needed at prices that were shillings less than others. I found my 9 pieces of 8 in no time. Savvy?
I know you're asking yourself, why should I shop at S&W Shooter and Prospectors?
Chuck Smalley has over 45 years of metal detecting experience. He works with each customer one-on-one to customize their setup to match their skill level.
So if you always dreamt of being a pirate, contact Chuck at S&W Shooters and Prospectors and he'll take a great deal for you.
iPads and rum not included.
Caution. Please do not operate motor vehicles or power equipment while under the influence of this show. Listening to this show could cause side effects such as bouts of laughter, violent binges of cabin fever, and even dreams of silver and gold. Please be advised. Now that the fine print is out of the way, on with the show. All right, we're back. We're live once again. You are listening to Beyond Sight and Sound, metal detecting and treasure hunting radio for all the really cool digging people out there. And as I look into the chat, it looks like there's all sorts of people dropping in. Nice to see. Nice to see. We see the Bills are in. Mike, let's see, Pam, Scott, Frank, Chuck, Barb, all sorts of people. Detecting addicts. Good. Well, can't beat that. Let's see here. Looks like Barb is planning to hunt all day tomorrow. There is no hunting up here for us Yankees. It's way too cold. Speaking of which, welcome to Steve from Vermont. Oh, boy. Still, very, very cool. So we hope everyone had a good New Year's. And hopefully 2023 is off to a great start for you all. Welcome to Phil. I wish here it was off to a great start for us, but so far it's just been one headache after another. Literally. Tam's down. She's got some sort of terrible sinus infection. Insurance switched, and I've been spending the past few days trying to get my insurance straightened out. Fun stuff. Fun stuff. Welcome to Pat. Pat's in the house. So are the Bortners. Good, good, good. And I do believe we got Frank. Which, I don't know. I don't believe, yeah. No, those don't, ship with the ugly box. But, now we've got multiple mics. But, for anyone who has seen the posts about the Carbon Gators, if they have not ordered themselves a set, I highly recommend them. Especially for somebody kind of, losing dexterity in their hands like me. The big clips work so easily. So easily. No more burning up your clip, trying to keep your carbon out of the water. Very nice. I've been working on cleaning up a couple of old tokens that we've got all the dirt and crud off of them. And we'll probably post up some before and after photos. They're down far enough now. I mean, they're clean enough. I could try to change the toning on them, but I may just leave them just the way they are. And I misrepresented when I was speaking of cleaning tokens a couple of episodes back. It is not an aluminum saloon token. It appears to be copper. And we're guessing it's a saloon token, tavern token, something like that. Technically, it's a Maverick, but the name does tie to the area, and the gentleman was a God, it's been a while. A saloon or tavern keeper, something like that. So we don't know if it ties to his propriety or what. But still, very cool token. And the other one we cleaned up a little bit was a old Excelsior Boy Scout token. Good luck token. Which I don't know. Maybe we'll go back and kind of change the toning on that one a little bit. Although it is starting to clean up pretty good. That one was brass. It doesn't seem to be too terribly pitted or anything like that. Very, very cool. And for those that wonder, the prize I see Barb's trying to figure out where she can buy carbon. I wonder how she managed to break it in half. Hopefully she didn't drag it behind the car. Oh, okay, it's just worn. Well, that's the way it goes. I see where Frank says hit me up. So, but yeah, the carbon is fairly readily available if you know where to look. I don't know. Some people seem to have issues finding it, though. Either way, I'm sure Frank has plenty around. So, there you go, Mike. Good way to do it. Definitely. And we see that Lewis is in as well. So if you, I guess, since Chuck did make it into the chat, we're probably going to be doing a giveaway for a pull tab. But not just any sort of pull tab. This one is a nice chunk of silver. It's a silver pull tab hat pin. And we'll see if Chuck sounds off in the chat, if he's up for doing that tonight or not, before my chat locks up. And if he is, then we'll get that done. We'll lay down some ground rules now that most people are in. And we will see what we can do. Harbor Freight also does mail order, though, Barb. Just saying. Just saying. And for those that wonder, the prize that we gave away the last episode of the year was the prize that Frank won. And if anybody had missed the post, it was a Walking Liberty silver round. Which, apologies to Frank on that. I didn't look real close. I knew I had it laying here on the desk, and I happened to make the mistake and mention to him that it was a Silver Eagle, and apparently it's a Walker silver round. But congratulations to Frank. He received that, I don't know, yesterday or today, something like that. We got it shipped out to him as soon as we possibly could. So everything went well with it. It's good to see that it arrived safely. Welcome to Mark. And what do we have here? No, I don't think that we can. I don't think that we can trade 15 pounds of pull tabs for a silver pull tab. I do not believe. Oh. And speaking of seeing Mark in the chat, I do believe, if I didn't get things mixed up, I do believe that Sunday we will be doing a show with Tim and the gang, and we will be talking about expeditions, uncharted expeditions. So we'll see how it goes. Should be a good time. It's been a while since. Oh, congrats, Mike. Congrats. Very cool. It's been a while since we've had Tim and everybody on the show. I want to say the last time we had, good grief, 4 or 5 members of the crew on at the same time. So it could be a little bit of chaos. We'll see what happens, because we could have just as many on again, basically. Let's see here. Yep, Sunday with Tim and the team. And I believe the way it sounded, it's a good possibility that Mark will be in there as well. Welcome to Celeste. Good to see her in. See if the phone lines are actually working. They are. I do believe. We have you, Chuck.
Yes. It's amazing the phone lines are working. That has been a working. I explained that to you earlier.
Yes.
But it got going, and right now we're back online.
So finally, things have been resolved.
Right.
Good. Fingers crossed. Let's hope it stays that
way. Yep. So, shall we give something away tonight?
We can, but I think first we should probably set down a few ground rules. Yep. Is this going to the lower 48 or any U.S. state?
These are small enough we can mail them up to Alaska or, that type of thing.
Okay. So
that we could do. We have Alaska listeners, and that would be cool.
Well, that's why I figured I'd check. I didn't want to speak out of turn or anything like that, and people guessing numbers in the chat, guess away, but it won't do you any good.
And anybody can enter here, but there are some ground rules that I'm setting. This is a pretty nice piece. Even though it is in the pull tab shape, it's silver.
And it's a nice chunk of silver.
According to Tim, they're about a ½ ounce, and they clip very nicely on the bill of a hat, or would clip nicely on your vest as you're out there, things like that.
Securely.
Pretty cool. So I sat down, I have several sets of questions here and some backups, and they have to answer not one, but 2 questions correctly.
Ooh.
And we're going to do it in the Jeopardy format. You're going to have a certain amount of time. You won't be given the question until you call in, number one, and then number two. And then it may be a name, and you'll say who is, or it could be a place, where, that type of thing. You got to get it right. I'm not making you spell it. That's a good thing.
Right.
And if you miss one of the two, we'll move to the next one. We'll do 3 to 4 sets of questions, and it'll roll over to another show if it doesn't get one tonight.
Right. If it doesn't get one tonight, since we've got Uncharted Expeditions on Sunday, we'll probably pick it back up Wednesday, and we'll give another 3 or 4 people a
questions
shot
as we go along. Yeah, it'll be fun, and if this works out, it'll be similar to Jeopardy, but we can't use the name. But we'll have some fun with it. But I'm going to challenge some people here on this. I did a little homework and did a few things that go back a ways in our history of our coinage this time.
Yeah, and they're going to have to put their thinking caps on.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
And that's why they have...
If you don't call in, nobody's going to win it.
Right, that's why they have to call in.
I know your coinage, and it'll be interesting to see if you get it.
And we know there's plenty of you in there that know your history. But that's why people have to call in, because we're not giving people an opportunity to Google this. So if you miss and the next person calls in, it's pointless for you to try and Google the answers, because you will receive
there'll be
a different
questions.
set.
That's right. So
this is a nice pull tab.
I've got a timer, and we'll go by the timer. Once the question is asked, you have 30 seconds.
Wow. So we're going to make this really tough.
I mean, these things aren't cheap. And
that's right.
You're going to have to work for them. Plain and simple.
Right.
So we'll have a little fun with it. I'll be fair with it. If you're given the answer and run over the 30-second mark, you'll be allowed to complete your answer.
So we're going to run it like a debate.
Yep, ORH, I'm going all in on this one. I know you know your coinage pretty good.
And your history.
Michael, it's not that bad. Well, maybe it is. I don't know. But as you detect, as you go treasure hunting, and you start finding things, and you wonder, and you start seeing them, and you start looking up values, you start learning a lot more about what you just found in our history in your hand than you realize. And things come out over the years, and you start studying them a little bit and go, wow, I didn't know that.
You just never know, even if you don't win. You never know what you're going to learn tonight.
Elusive's in the house, too. I hate Elusive. And so it'll be fun. We'll put your thinking caps on, and we'll go from there. And after we're through, if they nail the first one, somebody nails it on the first one, it will go out to them. We'll have to get with Tim. I'll have to have it shipped from there, and I'm picking up a few of them from them. And these are a $50 value. That's what they cost.
They're nice.
They're nice. I mean, they're really nice.
Mm-hmm. And
Scott says he doesn't have pens. He's going to call Frank.
And we're going to also ask that there are no coaching of the answers in the chat.
Nope, no coaching. That could disqualify them, so they'll be mad at the coach.
Right.
So we'll get into that in just a minute.
And people they got to experience something similar to this not too far back when we did a $50 Shooter and Prospectors gift certificate.
Yep. I got to make it work. But I'm going to mention something. I just read a really nice post that Frankie put up there on the Manicore. And he's been out working with it and studying and playing with it. And I have a customer that has been in contact with me, and I've got more coming, but they're going out. They aren't coming into my hands. that kind of what he said, pretty close to what Frank said. He is amazed with the depth, but the sensitivity has to be kind of set up differently than the 800. But he's going back to areas. He's not on a beach, Frank. He doesn't have beaches there. And he's going back to areas that have really paid off for him, but he's had them pretty well cleaned out with the 800. And he is hammering some stuff that he didn't find before, which isn't that unusual, but the depth, he said, is amazing.
Yeah,
he also made the same mention, Frank, it likes tiny stuff. It's that sensitive.
I was going to say,
has to be adjusted.
With what we've seen of the Manicore, taking that into an area that he's ran an 800 through, and I'm not saying the 800's an inferior machine, but he's going to uncover more things with the Manicore. He's going to see more depth, I would expect. Unless he was running like a 15-inch coil on the 800.
Yes. So I'm interested because I haven't got to play with one yet, and I probably won't get to play with one for a while. I do know I have 6 more coming in, and they're all going out to customers directly.
Right.
So I have told my customers, you are my experts, and I got Frank working with it, and that's good too. And looking at it and that kind of stuff. But it's going to be the depth, he told me, was really crazy on it.
That is awesome. That's a good report.
Yeah, that's a good report. But he said he had to play with a few things and get to understand how to run it. And he's probably pretty close to Frank there, maybe 4 or 5 hours of hunting time and a lot of studying. And he's a pretty good hunter. And he's keeping me informed here.
Good. Well, I expect that the more that we see units wind up in the end user hands, the more absolutely excellent finds we are going to see produced by that machine.
Right. So it's going to be interesting to follow. In the same way with the 900 to a point. That's been expanded, and I've got some good reports coming out of the 900s I've been able to ship out from a couple guys. They're in much warmer climate on the West Coast.
Right.
So they're very impressed with that on the tiniest pieces of gold.
Right. And there again,
depth, not just on the surface, but some depth on tiny gram, sub-gram pieces. So that sounds good.
Yeah, I was going to say there again, it's not that far-fetched to say that we're going to see people getting a little more depth out of the 900 as opposed to the 8.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But whether or not that difference in depth is negligible, we'll have to see.
Oh, yes. So it's interesting. It's interesting. I will be using the 900
in Aruba
on a beach, Aruba. So, and they have been, every one of those I've got is spoke for, but the one I've got set back here, unless somebody's just dying to get one, and we'll give that a shot down there.
Right.
Yeah. So it's about half past. So if somebody wants to call in and challenge me to win that pull tab, I'm kind of tight-fisted with that silver.
Yeah, especially one like that. But you're going to have to work for it. You're going to have to put your thinking caps on, and you're going to have to call in. No questions will be phrased before someone decides to jump on the grenade.
Yep. So give us a call.
That way
you got a nice hanging out there. You just might be able to win tonight.
Right. And Chuck and I spoke earlier about some of these questions, and really, I see people in the chat saying things like, too bad the topic wasn't flowers, I don't stand a chance. But a lot of these...
till you try.
Right. A lot of these questions are not necessarily all that difficult. don't make it more
Couple
complicated than it is.
Couple of months.
Right. A couple of them do require a little bit of thought. But as long as you know your coins, you know your history, you're quick on your feet, you should be fine.
Right.
And it wouldn't surprise me if, we've got somebody coming in now.
Oh, good.
I believe. Where did it go? Somebody came in. 336, you're live. Who do we have?
This is Ian. Giving it a chance. First time listener, first time caller.
Well, welcome aboard. Glad to see you joining us. All right. So, obviously, you're in the U.S.
Yeah, North Carolina.
Oh.
North Carolina. Ooh, this will be good.
Mm-hmm. All right.
So
well, then
I've got one just for you that you may know. Actually, two.
And we're
doing the format similar to Jeopardy.
Right.
So when you're ready, I'll shoot you the question, number one.
Yeah, I was going to say, I guess we'll wait for him to say that he's ready. That way he doesn't feel cheated out of any time.
That's right.
Oh, I don't mind feeling cheated at all. I guess we'll see if a rookie can get him. So let's go.
Okay.
Good luck.
Are you ready?
I'm as ready as I'll ever be.
Okay. In the early stages of the United States, we had different cities where mints were located. In my detecting career, I've been very fortunate. I found gold pieces. One of the first, not the first, but one of the first, I found an 1840 $5 gold piece. Its mint mark was C. What city and state was that mint in? You're on the time.
I'm going to take a guess since you were making comments on North Carolina that maybe Charlotte would be the C. But that's probably me stabbing in the dark since I'm still a year into this detecting hobby.
You are right on Charlotte.
Yes, you are.
You are right on Charlotte, North Carolina. So, I'm going to stop that goofy thing. Dismiss. Okay, good enough. You are correct. It was Charlotte, North Carolina. Now.
Good job on that, too, by the way. A lot of people wouldn't have got that.
Good that you called. I picked that one out because it's in North Carolina. Number two. Which U.S. mint is considered the mother mint? You're on the time. City and state, please.
Everybody's going to make fun of me for not knowing this one.
And time is
maybe up. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania?
I can't answer now because your time was up.
All right.
But we'll move on, and if nobody wins tonight, you're welcome to call back in again.
Awesome. I appreciate it. Thank you.
You were very close.
Very good try.
You would have been right there, but very good on the Charlotte. And
thank you. I appreciate it.
When I found that, it had that C on there, and I had no idea. This is 1979, I found that. And we didn't have interconnectivity with the internet. You had to go to the coin shop. I went down to Jubilee Coin in the Quad Cities, and he looked at me and said, "Nice, you've got a Charlotte."
Right,
Man.
going, do you have any idea what you're holding?
Basically, did gold coins.
Exactly.
Well,
and that's why...
Guys, I do appreciate the time, and I appreciate the conversation, and thanks for keeping on.
Oh, no problem. We enjoyed you calling in, and don't be afraid, folks. I've got a couple more to do tonight, so give us a call.
Yep, on to the next
close.
person. He was. And that's good for a newcomer, as he put it.
Yeah.
To know Charlotte. A lot of people don't think
when he
of
said he
Charlotte.
was from North Carolina, I went to that question. So,
right. Yeah, a lot of people don't think of that one. Especially with it being a mint that is no longer in operation. That's why a lot of people, it doesn't necessarily come to the front of their mind.
Right. And Mark, you're correct. Charlotte Mint was the first U.S. branch mint. It was a sub-mint. It was located in Charlotte, North Carolina, and specialized in gold coins. I have one Charlotte gold coin.
Which is pretty commendable in its own. I mean, there have been people that have hunted for decades and decades and do not have a Charlotte
It was
Mint
just
coin.
a fluke. I was down in Missouri, deep south Missouri, and I found it down there.
Nice.
And it was on a boulevard in a town down there.
Oh, even better.
So, anyway, who wants to try round two?
Right. We had one jump on the grenade. They almost got it, too. They did very well. Very good showing from Ian, I believe he said his name was. So very cool.
Give it a try. I've got some others in there. I know Frank could probably nail one of them. I know, you got Mark Hoover, Celeste.
Oh, I'm sure
ORH. Good at that stuff. I got one just for ORH if he wants to call in.
I'm sure that there are a number of people, Frank and Ohio Relic Hunter and a few others, that they can definitely hit it. We've got Barb calling to take a shot.
Okay.
Yeah, I like losing.
Ah.
I like picking.
You never know, Barb.
I like picking.
You might win.
Win things.
So you understand kind of the rules. You got 30 seconds, and if it goes over 30, I'm shutting it down. Unfortunately, that's the way it's going to be.
It's okay.
Stay by our rules.
I'm not going to cheat.
No, we did it this way so 30 of you aren't Googling at the same time. But I've got a
there will be no collusion in the chat.
Nope.
I tried to help them out. I gave them the answer to the second one, and they told me to shut up. I didn't know the first one, and I live in North Carolina. I didn't know the first one, but I knew the second one.
If you'd have called on the first one, that's the one you got.
That's the one you would have gotten.
North Carolina, you may have known that.
No, I didn't know that. So
you should have, but look at what you learned.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess,
okay.
If Chuck's ready, whenever you're ready, say the word and we'll roll.
Okay, I'm ready. If Barb's ready, we'll get the timer set here, and
I'm ready. Make me stupid.
Okay, we're starting here just right now after I run the question. On the Buffalo nickel, under the date. Now, I'm using the 1937 Buffalo. Very familiar with everybody, but it's on there. There's an F under the date. Now, that's the designer's initial.
Oh, crap.
Who designed that nickel?
Do I have to have the whole name? Or just what the F stands for?
Yeah, just the F would be okay here. That's the way I've got it wrote up. I didn't make you do the whole name. Very famous. It's one of the most famous U.S. coin designs ever.
I'm going to go with Franklin because I know that's wrong.
Wrong.
I knew
Sorry.
it. See?
Nice try,
okay.
though.
Nice try. Now, since I will not reuse this question, the gentleman's name is James Earl Fraser. And the Fraser, and you hear it repeated time and time again, because that buffalo has been done on silver rounds. The Indian head has been done on many other coins, and it's one of our most
popular design.
Famous coins.
Well, I remember
all right.
Mr.
Well, I've got one more set after, actually 2 more sets after this, and we'll just run
Mr.
one.
Fraser
Though I had a backup
now.
set. But anyway, thanks, Barb.
Bye.
We'll
Nice
keep going.
try. Well, that's 2 that have stepped up to the plate.
That's right. It isn't that bad, but it'll make you check the history a little bit of what you're carrying, what you're digging.
Yep.
James Earl Fraser, wasn't he Conan the Barbarian? No.
Oh, good grief. But yeah, I'm sure there's a few of them in here that they could get the answers. Pat probably could. Frank. ORH.
Yep. Now I see it. Now they're learning something. Mark just had a
Mark.
Yep. And they're learning a little bit. I'm not trying to be a teacher, but now they're checking things out. They're becoming a little more knowledgeable on their coinage.
Right. And knowledge is power.
Now this last one, I debated with myself of using or not using it, but we're going to use it because everybody wants to find these. So I'll give that hint out. Everybody wants to get back and find these coins.
Well, that should be a pretty decent hint for people.
Okay, Mark just put up their sculptor and assistant to Augustus St. Gaudens. Fraser designed the Buffalo nickel. He did not design that nickel by himself. He did not design the end of the trail by himself. He had a co-artist with him on that. You know who that is, Mark? His wife. And he designed that.
I knew it wouldn't take long. I knew it. Frank is in the house.
Frank's in the house.
The only reason I'm calling is because I have absolutely no chance of winning. I am horrible at this stuff, but I figure there's nothing to lose. I'm not going to win it anyway.
Hey, we're having a little fun. I hope to bring a little
absolutely
good, and we'll keep working on it. And so you're ready to roll on.
If it was B-52's music, he'd have it.
Because
let's go. Let's see how quickly I can bomb out of this contest.
All right. Here's your question. Who was the third chief engraver of the United States Mint?
Right.
You'll know it when I say it. You'll hit yourself in the head.
I probably will. I don't have a clue. I don't have a clue who the first or the current one is.
All right. That's your answer.
Not a chance in hell.
You don't have a clue.
Yep.
All right.
Not a clue.
Gorbrecht. Christian Gorbrecht.
Oh yeah. Wait. It was on the tip of my tongue.
Yes, it was. But, I gave a hint out. Everybody wants to find the coin he's most famous for. Everybody has a great day when they get sat down. he's the man that designed our seeded coins.
That's beautiful. I love finding his coins. I would have never given him any credit
everybody,
for it.
I got a seeded, we're all puffed up. Yeah, it's 1840. Look at that. That's the kind of stuff. Steve, yes, it was a tough question. I debated whether to put that out there or not, and Frank, I thought maybe Frank could nail it.
Yeah, it never happened. Like I said, I couldn't name the current guy, the last guy, the guy before him. No.
Well,
but hey, listen, it was fun. It was fun to try.
Yeah. Well, I'll come up with some different ones in the future here and try and keep them certain locations like the North Carolina one. He was so close.
Yeah, exactly.
Time killed him on that.
I knew Frazier. I knew what the F was, but you got to give me Gorblock or whatever his name was.
Gorbrecht. And if hey, I'll tell you what, you got a little time, go online, look up the Gorbrecht dollar. And some of his type and pattern coins, they actually, some of them even circulated, and they can be found. And I do not have a Gorbrecht dollar, but I've got a lot of his seeded stuff.
Yeah, so I've got some seeded stuff. I've never known who designed it.
And he designed the 20-cent piece.
And I found
rare
two
stuff.
Of those. I have found two of those over the years.
I found one. And it was
and I
thin.
still didn't know he designed it.
Yep.
All right. Well, I appreciate the opportunity to embarrass myself on national radio.
Well, no, you didn't embarrass yourself. You stood up. You
That's
stood
right.
up and said, "I'm going to try this." That's cool.
I bet Barb could have got that.
There you go. And Mark's got stuff
guys,
up interesting. Mark, he was third engraver, United States Mint from 1840 through 44, designing the famous seated Liberty designs, which were in turn direct inspiration of the trade dollar. You are right. And, that's good stuff. And now when you dig something, a little bit of history on it, you get a little more respect for where it came from. Now, our designers
I got
today...
to go look up how to spell his name.
Yeah, there you go. Our designers today, I'm sorry, I think they need cracked alongside the head. They need to come back and, the Washington quarter, because you got peach trees on the back and cows and everything else, doesn't make it special.
Right. I agree. I think the new Washington face looks like a cartoon.
I do too. It looks like his cheeks are sagging, his nose is longer. Come on, who did that?
Nothing has the appeal.
Coins. I mean, Teddy Roosevelt was right. We need beautiful coins in circulation.
Nothing has the appeal like the coins of yesteryear.
Yeah. Let's go back to the
All right, let somebody else win. Let somebody else come on. I'm wailing.
Okay.
See you guys later.
Thanks,
later,
Frank.
Brother.
Nice
That's
try.
the 3 sets I had for tonight. We're going to roll it over to another show. I have 3 different sets, and I'll tell you what. Put up on the screen tonight what you would like to see for questions, like about detectors, maybe electrolysis, and I can get some stuff from Frank. And we'll put them up there. It all has to do with our hobby. This was about finds and what you got in your hand when you dig it. Civil War. And we'll do 3 sets of double questions until we give that one away. We'll probably do 1 or 2 more when we got some slow time.
And people have gotten a taste of what it could be like. And I'm sure that there are a number of people that have found themselves to be informed.
Yeah.
I do believe.
So let's have a little learning curve and have a little fun with it. It will go out. It was close to going out tonight on the first caller.
That's right. We've actually got Mark on with us.
Hello, Mr. Hoover. How's your vacuum?
You know what? I don't even have a Hoover vacuum.
He's probably got a Dyson or something.
Well, you know, it's funny because we do have a Dyson. I was thinking about changing my name to Kirby Dyson.
Sorry, it just rolled out, Mark. It just did.
Nice recap on the questions there, Mark.
Sure, you know, it's fun. I love learning stuff about, you know, and I do collect a few coins. I collected a lot of them when I was a kid and then got away from it and started collecting again more recently. I've been buying them from the U.S. Mint. And what's kind of cool about that is the fact that they, you know, in 2 years ago, they came out with the new Morgan dollar,
right,
and the piece
the
dollar.
100-year anniversary Morgan piece.
Right. And then they didn't do it this year, and they are going to pick it back up again. They had so much demand that they're going to release them again this year, 2023. So, they're going to have, you know, another Morgan and another piece dollar. And I suspect it's going to continue on.
I would have to guess that it will, just simply because of the amount of demand that there was the last run. You know, it's funny. I don't know how much people on this on your show know about, you know, what it was like. They had a run of 175,000, which is not very much, and you were allowed to order up to 3 of them. And they opened at noon on whatever day it was that they were going to do it. And, I mean, there was so much demand, you know, that it brought It just slaughtered their site. It brought it down.
Yeah, it did. It killed it in literally no time at all.
Well, and, you know, it's funny. I was talking to Jeff Luber yesterday when I was telling him my experience was I was able to get everyone every time. And the reason for that is, and I'm sharing some information for everybody else here, is all you had to do, well, first of all, you need to set up an account, you know, with the U.S., and it's not hard to do. You just set up an account, and then you have your email and your login, right? But the key was get the items in your cart. So you get them in your cart, and then it crashed, okay? Well, a lot of people gave up when it crashed. Well, what they didn't know is when it's in your cart, it stays in your cart even if it crashes. So when the system comes back up, then you can buy the coins, and it could be 2, 3, 4 hours later, but they're still in your cart.
Now you're giving
to me. So
now you're giving away my trade secrets.
Well, you know, we should do that for your listeners. Your listeners are so special. We need to give them some trade secrets.
There you go.
There you go.
So,
what's the word on the Charles Garrett hunt? Is it sold out, Mark?
I don't think it is. There's a couple of other things I was going to share with you before, let me talk about the Garrett hunt real quick. So I don't think it's sold out. It is going to be bigger this year than in 21, and they have made a decision. It is going to be every other year now.
Yep, that's what we're doing.
As far as I know, Chuck, it's not sold out yet. That's the last I heard.
Barn come down. KG already told me, get down here and hang out. So I'm going to go down and hang out.
Oh, it's going to be a blast. Yeah, it is. I mean, it's one of my favorite hunts. But, you know, again, it's only every other year. But, of course, everybody that goes will tell you you know, Garrett does an incredible job of putting and
I wouldn't expect anything less from Garrett. They do a good job on all they do.
Right, no, and true. Look at the number of machines they give out at that hunt.
It's amazing.
Like 50, last 21, it was 56, I think. One for every year they're in business.
I believe so, yeah, because for their 55th, they did 55, and then they planned on doing one every year after that.
Right. Well,
So one of the reasons I was calling in was to let y'all know that I am going to South Carolina this weekend. Jim Tippett, Jimmy Crossbones, and I are going to drive up for the American Digger Magazine Civil War Military Show right outside of Charlotte. So we're going to drive up there for that. I think Bill Hayes is going to be there. Bill Hayes works with. I'm looking forward to seeing.
Yeah, he's always there.
Looking forward to seeing Bill again. And one of the things that we're trying to do is I have not been able to, there were several people that advertised if you called them and paid them, they would take you out. And I've called a couple people, and nobody has responded. So if anybody's listening to the show in South Carolina, I'm willing to pay somebody to take me out just for a couple of hours because we just want to get up there and hunt a little bit while we're at the show. So we're looking forward to seeing everybody who's going to be up there. There you go.
Very nice.
And then Sunday night. Go ahead, Chuck.
I said, hopefully the weather's good for you.
Well, it's going to be, look, for you guys, it's not a problem. For me, it's different, right, because I'm from Florida. But it's going to be in the 30s in the morning, and it'll be warm up to the 40s and 50s, which will be beautiful. I mean, I don't mind, digging in that at all. It's a little chilly for me, but not. It's going to be great weather.
Now, I've been in Florida when it was in the 50s, and we're running around in T-shirts, and the Floridians are wearing winter clothes.
Yeah, because it's cold. That's how you can always tell the tourists. And I don't know if Barb's back to mention something about South Carolina or what.
No, I'm back because I was talking in the chat about doogaloos, and they wanted to know how much I had to drink, and that has nothing to do with it. But let Mark finish, and then I'll educate you on what doogaloos are.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd love to know what that is, too. But, the last thing I was going to say was...
Sunday.
We're looking forward to being there on Sunday. I think... it'll be 4 or 5, probably 4. Assuming I am at a place where I can get on or call, because I'll be up in South Carolina, I'll absolutely would like to be a part of it. But, everybody is really good now. We don't step over each other and talk. I mean, Tim does most of the talking, and if you want us to say anything, let us know. I'll be more than happy to chime in.
Nice. Well, we'll definitely see how it goes. It should be a good show. It's been a while since we've had the gang on again.
Yeah, that'll be fun. We're looking forward to it, Josh. Really appreciate you having us on, too. And we're already talking to the sponsors about a season 2. We actually, just a couple of things. We are going to film 2 more episodes for season 1. We had to take a break because of some of the physical challenges with COVID. But we're going to film 2 more. And then the sponsors really want us to do a season 2, so we're going to do that as well. But we'll talk more about it on Sunday night. But Frank, not Frank. I'm sorry, Chuck. Can you ask me just one question? I just want to see if I know it. I don't want to win anything. I just want to see if I know one of your coin questions.
Okay. Let's see. What do I got here? We did the third. We did the Mint Cities. These are the questions I had wrote out, Mark. And then I had another set I was going to swing into a little gold prospecting for people. So these are the ones I had for coin questions for people. They got used.
Ah.
So
they got what?
They got used.
I know. I didn't know if you had a random question. I just wanted to see if I could answer one of your questions.
Oh, well, I'll get you one right here.
All right.
That was a big book of coin questions. Okay. Hang on just a second. I had a couple circled, but I didn't use them. I thought they'd be a little...
And by the way, every year here in Orlando, they have the fun. That's called the
Yes,
Fun
I would
Coin
like
Show.
to come down to Fun. I really would.
That's for everybody else. That's the Florida. What is it, Frank? Florida United Numismatics or something like that.
Yes.
And
they actually have a series of collectibles that they have put out over the years. They've done that, even coinage, that are a complete collector's market on its own. And I've seen some of them. They get bought and sold and traded up even in our area. And they're kind of neat. They're kind of neat.
Yeah, they are neat. And the other thing, too, they did last time, which was really cool, they gave away stock certificates. They were real stock certificates. And, of course, back in the day,
they were neat.
Everybody that bought stocks, they got certificates, and they're beautifully engraved and all of that. And so they had a pile of them there. And when you signed in, they gave you some. And they gave me a handful of them, and I looked at some of the names on there are actually recognizable names. I don't remember any off the top of my head, but yeah, I mean, it was kind of cool, just a hand. And then they had a sample of. They had one of the. I guess it's a replica of the original spider wheel press where they did the engraving and stuff, and then it's amazing what you can learn at these coin shows.
Oh, yeah.
Well, here's one I was going to throw at him because it crosses over two fields, coinage and gold rush era. And during the gold rush in California, there were private minters out there. And they would privately mint gold coins. One, what was the smallest denomination? Two, what was the largest denomination that were minted by privateers on the West Coast? And they're extremely collected and valuable.
Yeah, I don't. My wife actually has one, and I'm trying to remember the denomination of it. And that thing is tiny. Probably, what is it? I'm going to guess $50.
They actually made one at the 25-cent level.
Wow. Oh, they did. Okay.
Mm-hmm. What was the largest denomination
out there? I'm going to guess $10.
100.
You're both wrong.
What was it?
$50.
Michael Boyles is right.
Yep.
There you go.
Yep. They did that $50 one, and I've actually held that 50, and it's like, oh my God, it was a big coin, and I've held the fractionals. I do not have one. To find that small 25-cent one would be absolute stroke of luck.
Right.
Yeah.
And if I remember correctly, aren't they kind of like hexagonal? Like, don't they have they're not
big slugs? Yeah. Yeah. So those are the type of things that you can find these. Believe it or not, they were brought back after the gold rush. They did circulate through this side of the country.
Yeah, it's not impossible to find them.
No. But the absolute, like a 20-cent piece. Now, I know Frank's found two. I've found one. And I know of others that have found them. But, we're talking a coin that was around like 3 years and not heavily circulated much.
Right,
So
not heavily produced, not heavily circulated. That's why they're kind of rarer than hen's teeth out there.
Yep. So
yeah, Patrick O'Masters just mentioned something in the chat, and I heard this too. They're heavily counterfeited.
Yes.
And
yeah,
they
really
have somebody that knows what they're doing in order to be able to, authenticate those as
that's right.
As real. Yeah.
Those that I held went to PCGS and were authenticated.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And, if you think you got one, send it in. If it comes back as a counterfeit, even the counterfeits had value and still have a collectible value. I found a 1916 Barber dime. I still have it. And when I dug it, it read odd numbers. And I dug it with my 30-30, and it was slate gray in color. I looked at it, it didn't feel right, so I took it down to a guy in the Quad Cities, at that time, Jubilee coin, and Mr. Hurry looked at it, and he looked at it and grinned at me, and he said, "You got a counterfeit, dude. This is lead." Ooh. And I still have that. He offered me pretty nice money for it. But there was a counterfeit ring working out of Clinton, Iowa during that period, making lead slug coins, and they were good at it.
Right.
So there's a few around here, and I've got that in my collection. I kept that. I'll never probably find out.
I would too.
Again.
I mean, just because they're counterfeit doesn't necessarily mean they're worthless.
But there is one
really interesting.
Yeah. Even counterfeit coinage from that era can be confiscated.
Yes.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Secret Service come in and say, "Hey, that's a counterfeit coin. It belongs to us now."
Yep. But one lead dime, they aren't going to chase that down. But if you were cleaning them and selling them as a real dime, it's still counterfeit.
Then you're in very hot water because you're representing it as something that it is not.
Right.
And there's a whole collectability in counterfeit stuff.
Hey, Chuck.
Ohio
Relic Hunter has a question. Did they have a die to make it, or did they pour the coins?
I was told they actually made a impression of a real coin and then poured it and cleaned it up.
A replica die.
But it was done so well, at first glance, you couldn't tell. You don't really have a dime in your hand and feel for the proper weight. You slide the dime and buy your goods.
Right.
And it goes into a change drawer or box. So that kind of stuff, it was like, how many of you seen the 1883 V nickel?
I was just thinking about that, the Racketeer nickel.
The Racketeer nickel. I bought one just to have one. It still has some gold on it. They gold plated them and slid them as $5 gold pieces.
Oh.
Yep.
And yeah, there's lots of them.
But
you can go into a lot of good coin shops and they'll have one, generally certified even.
And here's a
little Racketeer nickel.
Here's a little interesting trivia along that line. He was never prosecuted. Or at least never convicted. And do you know why?
No.
He never represented that he never tried to make out that it was a $5 coin because he couldn't talk.
I heard that somewhere, but I couldn't remember where.
And it's debatable, but a number of people like to claim that that's where the phrase "just joshing you" came from.
Neat. But that's
So,
the kind of stuff that's in the history of what we dig. And that's what I'm trying to follow with these questions. It's the history of what we dig or where we dig. And I'll probably come up, and Barb, there'll be some Civil War stuff.
okay, now I have a question for you, Chuck, since you are just so smart and you've done
No, I'm not. I just read a lot and go, wow, I didn't know that.
And you've done so much research.
Don't call him an expert.
Could you please tell us what a doogaloo is?
I do not know what that is. To me, it sounds like some place that they renamed an outhouse.
Actually, I've been researching for my next article for American Digger on Blackwood lumber and trying to get info that isn't in my first article. And
Okay.
3 of the merchandise tokens I found at Blackwood, now that Frank has helped me to electrolysis them, they are from a different lumber company. They have Norwood Lumber Company on them, which was in the next county, which burned to the ground. And once it burned down, the company that owned Norwood, Blackwood, was a subsidiary of it. So they're connected. So some of those workers came to Blackwood, to this county. It's about 40, 50 miles over there. And so I found this book on the history of lumbering in Jackson County. And there's only one copy, and it's at the university. So I spent my afternoon at the university reading this book, taking 50 million pictures, and it starts talking about doogaloos. And I'm like, what the heck's a doogaloo? Well, it's what the lumber companies called script. That was their name for it, and I guess it was because it wasn't worth crap except there, and so they gave it the name doogaloo. And so I'm reading this going, and I came home and researched it. You can, and Squatch Brother already did, and posted it in the chat. If you Google doogaloo, it'll tell you it's company script.
Really?
So
yes, sir.
So
did they make a denominational script then, like good for 50 cents in the company store, or?
So does that mean it's a denominational doogaloo?
I don't know, but Blackwood, Linda Reese has helped me research the coal miners' logs that are now available online. And Blackwood Lumber did not order metal script, from Ingalls, Schlotzler, whatever in Ohio until 1939. Prior to that, they were using paper script. And so when you needed money, you went and asked for script. They put it on your account, and they gave you a booklet that had $1, $5, $10, $20 in it.
Yep.
And you would spend that paper script. In 1939, they came out with the metal script.
It was America's first food stamps.
Basically. And so they called it doogaloos. So I'm reading this page on script and doogaloos, and the lady who wrote it, Ann D. Melton, who lives in the next county, and it was written in 2019. So I'm hoping she's still alive so I can meet with her before I finish my article. She says, I was told this story from someone. She doesn't say who, so they obviously are alive, and it's probably a relative of theirs. But it's a story about this old timer who lived on the creek, my road, and had a big garden. And when his garden came in, he would take his cart, his horse and buggy, down to the mill village, and he would sell his fresh vegetables in the village. And it says this lady comes out in her it didn't say bathrobe. It said bedroom robe, bedroom cloth or something like that, and slippers. And says to the guy, I really would like to buy some of your fresh produce, but I don't have any money. Will you take a doogaloo? And she says the man thought about it for a while and said, well, I haven't done that in quite a long time, but we'll see how it goes.
I'll be darned. Well, Ohio Relic Hunter put up a thought that I was going to say, oh, my soul to the company store, digging 16 tons.
Right.
Yeah.
And I bursted out laughing. Here, it's in a special collection. I had to get permission to go in this special room and sign out this book, and I couldn't leave the room. I had to sit in this room because it is the only copy I can find online is at the university, and they sit with you, and I'm like, I may be here a while, and thank God I know the librarian. She's like, I'm here to 4:30, so we're good. And so I had no choice but to go there. And when I started cracking up, she's like, what? I'm like, I got to read this to you. And when I did, she's like, she didn't get it at first. And I went, he thought she meant, hey, we'll go, whatever. He thought that's what a doogaloo was. And so the book was very interesting, but then vague in so many areas that I was hoping to get information on. But now y'all know what a doogaloo is.
That's pretty cool.
That's
a great
cool.
story.
And have you found a piece of this?
I have a $5 payday token, and I thought they were stamped because they have B on it for Blackwood, but they're actually called cut out coins, script. And so I have a $5, a 1 cent, and a 10 cent. I have 4 meal tokens that have Blackwood Lumber Company on them.
Oh.
I have a $1 merchandise token from Norwood, 2 50-cent Norwood tokens, a 1 no cash token, a Chinese cash token, and there may be a few other more tokens, which when I did my first article, I had maybe 5 tokens. I probably got 8 or 9 now. So,
cool. Because those old tokens tell a story too for towns, for
yes,
businesses.
they do.
And it opened my eyes when I found the one out of PK, Iowa. I'm like, where is PK, Iowa? What's involved? Found out that was from a coal mine community.
Right.
And that was particularly rare. And I did sell it. I don't collect tokens. But I would love to get over there and detect where that town was at, because it was railroad built. All of it was. The railway, the history of it, the railway engineers thought they noticed they brought geologists back from the railroad, and the area had coal seams sticking out. So they went, and the railroad built spurs. They built small towns. They put people to work. They had stores there, and many of them were short-lived towns. The one from PK, Iowa, started in 1890, and by 1916, the town had dried up because the coal ran out.
Yeah, absolutely. And once the rail moves away, the town dies.
That's right. And so some of that stuff, like what you've got, Barb, some of it could be rather rare.
It is. I actually have access to the token catalog. There are now Blackwood Lumber tokens up there because I've put them there. That you can go to, I think it's Jansen's or somewhere. It's part of the asylum that Mike talks about. You go there, and Linda Reese and I have scrolled through the coal miners' logs that go back to, oh God, they start really early, like right at 1900. And it took us, we found the first Blackwood log in 1937. So the guy that owns the token catalog has gone through that list and put all of the tokens that he has found on that in the catalog. And if you log in, it'll say looking for picture for this, that, and the other. And I've uploaded two or three of the Blackwood tokens. I uploaded the 50-cent Norwood token, which he had listed. All I had to do was click the link and upload my picture to it.
There you go.
And so as I've been doing the electrolysis, I've been trying to upload them. I still have, I think, 2 or 3 to upload. And so this way there will be a record of it when I'm long and gone, because no one else has uploaded them. But nothing from Blackwood was on that till I started uploading them.
Cool. Well, the 2-cent PK Iowa token I found is now in the World of Tokens log and book, and they put me down as a finder. That was the third one known.
Well, it's funny because Linda sent me an article written by, oh God, what's his name? Detect America.
Steve?
Oh God, no. God, I can't think of his name.
Ron?
No, I think it's Detecting America or something like that.
Oh,
but,
okay. Different DA, huh?
Yeah, so I reached out to him and was like, because he did an article on Norwood Lumber Company, and he found one in Tennessee, a token, and he was like, went on, and I watched his whole video on it, and so I contacted him and said, I have found 3 Norwood tokens. I didn't know they were Norwood till I started electrolysizing them. And could you tell me where you found the info on Norwood? And he was kind of blunt about it. It's Greg Pickens. Maybe he's Detect America. I can't remember who he's with. And I said, Greg, I have
actually it's Finding America.
Yes.
Yeah.
Finding America. And so I contacted him and asked him where he found his info on Norwood. And he came back and he told me, he's like, all you got to do is Google it. And I'm like, well, yeah, I have found some of it, but not all of it. And I said, well, I have 3 of those tokens. He goes, those tokens are very rare. And that lumber company is in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. When the company burned down, they sold it to the national park. And I was like, yeah, I know that. And I would have expected more, like, where did you find them? How did you get them or something? And I told Linda, I said, I'll bet he thought I nighthawked the national park to find them. I'm in a whole different county from where the company was. So it was just really weird. I mean, I would have thought somebody that found one and said they're so rare would have been, how did you get them? How did you know what they were? Something,
Right.
Right.
Well, it's all the history of where you're at, what you're finding. Mark just put up about the island of St. Lucia, the 9 real versus the 8 real after they punched a hole in it. It was worth 9. Nobody would take them anywhere else because they weren't 8 anymore. They were 9, but in St. Lucia only. Things like that. It makes you study what you got in your hand a little bit. And I've been fortunate with some tokens. Some I didn't know what I had till I had somebody look at them. I was in South Dakota, actually hunting in Deadwood at the time, back late 70s, early 80s. I found on 2 different trips, 1 each. I found a token. It was a planchet. Read it around the outside edge. All it said was number 10. Found 2 of them over the years. Okay. That is history to that town, but you wouldn't know it.
Right.
Those tokens were given out by the bar owner of the number 10 saloon.
Saloon.
To one man. to one man, Buffalo Bill Hickok. He handed them out.
Man.
I have 2 known examples out of the 6 they know of.
Dang. But you
And
know,
I dug
that's
them
it.
on private property. Friends of mine own property out there. I can still go back because there are even gold mines up there. It was up on one area, and I dug them. I've actually showed them to token people. They offered crazy money for those. I haven't sold them. I'm about ready to, for the kind of money for that. But I have 2 number 10 tokens I found in around 1980 in Deadwood.
That is awesome. Well,
that's pretty cool.
I've
And
had
then the PK Iowa one, I had my phone lit up when I put that online on Facebook. I had everybody in Iowa calling for that token. I ended up selling it. I traded for $750 face silver.
Dang. Well, I can tell you the first token I found was the $5 payday, which is
That's cool, Barb.
it's huge. It's bigger than a silver dollar. It's
Really? Is that like a, I don't know if you guys ever know, the so-called dollars they made with different things, different company. I think the company you mentioned made those. They were called so-called dollars. They were big. I got one. I dug it over in Clinton, Iowa.
Well, I took it into town because I was talking to the guy at the feed store. And when I took it in and showed him, he's like, I'll give you $300 for it right now. And I'm like,
Whoa.
It's not for sale. And he grew up in the lumber company as a child. And when I went back and I said, I found 2 more. I got a meal token and I got a merchandise token. And he sent me, he's like, so-and-so would love to see these. And so I went to his store and I said, I came in to show you these because Randy Hooper said you would like to see them. And he's like, how much you want for them? I'll buy them all right now. And I'm like, that isn't why I came. I came to show them to you because he said you worked back then. You know, you were a young man. And so it's like, if you show them to the old timers here, they're like, I dug, it's about 10 inches and it's the top of, it's flat on one end and pointed on the other. And it's what they banged the railroad ties together, which when they logged this, they ran the railroad 10 miles up the creek. And I found out today they only had enough railway for 15 miles. And so they would actually lift it up once they destroyed an area and lumbered it. They would lift the tracks up and move it to the next place. And this is the head of one of the pieces they used to bang it together. And the day I found it, which was 4 years ago, I took it into the general store because Mickey was like, you find anything today? And I went, let me go get it. And I brought it in, and it's got to weigh 20 pounds. And I said, I found this. And this guy whipped out a wad of bills 2 inches high and said, name your price. And I'm like, it's not for sale, but thank you.
It's always for sale if you need the money.
That's right.
In the future.
But the thing is if I sell it, I want to keep it all together. I don't want to sell it.
And I understand that. I never did get a big interest in tokens. I do have some neat ones that I've kept and found out the ones I thought were rare aren't rare, and the ones I thought, well, they ended up being rare. So, you know, those oddball numbers, treasure hunters, that you're seeing on your screens.
You got to dig them.
Those tokens.
And I'm going to tell you, some of these tokens have rang up terrible. Yep. But it's red hot clay soil, and it's
you gotta dig it all, don't you?
I dig every signal. I have dug 50 million nails in this place, but I dig. And the last token I dug a month ago was the 10-cent token, and it's the size of a dime. I thought it was $10, and Linda's like, Barb, it's 10 cents. I'm like, no way would they give you script for 10 cents. There ain't no way. Well, once I researched it, yeah, it's 10
Don't
cents.
ever underestimate those nails. If you work at it right, you can draw a picture of a building by where those nails lay. And that will tell you a lot, and you'll find a lot more coinage or whatever you're looking for around it. And I've done it. I've had it proven to me. I've worked with Montpelier, and that's what they do. They can literally, by staking out where you're finding nails. Now, this is on unplowed ground. Draw that building and research it and dig it and work with it. And I've got sheets from them on how to date that building by the nails you find.
There were 72 homes. There were numerous executive buildings. There was a mess hall, a grocery store, a post office, the depot station. So we're looking at like probably 100 buildings in this very small area. So it is literally littered with 100-year-old decaying nails. And so if it even sounds halfway decent, I'm digging it.
Cool.
I'm digging it.
That's what you got to do, guys.
There you go.
We all get a little lazy. We think we know what sounds like aluminum or, I ain't digging that. That's a nail. Well, sometimes you just got to go ahead and force yourself to dig it all.
And I'm going to tell you, I dug the last token in the last month. They moved some dirt. I seen the bulldozers had moved. I said, I'm going to go metal detect where those dang backhoes were. And I hit the edge of the property where, and I've got before and after pictures.
Michael Boyle, sorry, Barb, he's leaving the chat.
Night, Mike. And I was running along the ridge and the slope, they have like totally desecrated the property and cut so much dirt off and moved it all over the place. So I'm like all over within a mile stretch, hitting dirt here and there. And I found a pocket watch and I found a compact lid. And I said, I'm going to swing back to the backhoe, big machine, whatever it is. And 2 feet from the tread, I found that script. So don't give up. It's, it's out there.
No. So, well, anyway, Barb, we've run her over pretty long.
Yep,
and I'm
out of here. I'm out of here.
And poor
I'm out of here. Thanks for letting me call in.
Hey, thanks for calling.
Anytime. Thanks for the call.
Get hooked up with you down at Texas and up here in Northern Illinois when you come up.
That'd be great. Hey, look forward to seeing y'all or talking Sunday night, and look forward to that.
I want to hear what you got to say.
All right. And welcome to Ian, too. I see he's in the chat as well, so welcome, Ian. Good night, all.
Good night.
All right. Thanks for your call, Mark.
Thanks, Josh.
Barb, that's good info. Keep digging those tokens, and I'm going to get out of here, too, Josh. Thank you. It was fun. We'll design another set. It came close to going out tonight. Maybe somebody will get it on the next round. And I think the next time I ask for ideas, what you want questions on, I'll just have to come up with another set. I think we're going to look into prospecting the next go around.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I guess people will want to stay tuned for the next round.
Yep, and that will probably be Wednesday of next week, I think, right?
Yes. As long as I don't come down with a severe sinus infection or something.
Oh, I hope not. That's nasty, and I hope Tam gets over it all right.
Right.
Night, all. Right. Thanks for having me.
And with that, I think we're going to roll on out, too, because we have definitely been on here for a minute. Well, I guess we didn't run over too terribly bad. We appreciate everyone for hanging in there with us, though. It's been fun. It's been informative. It's been educational. And Sunday, we will have Tim and the gang on to talk about Uncharted Expeditions. And next Wednesday, to the best of my knowledge, we will have another round of this trivia hot seat, I guess, for the silver pull tab hat pin. So keep your thinking caps around, people. We'll see what happens. Until the next one, though, we got to roll. We're out of here. Have a wonderful evening.